Tonight, new year, no carbon tax. We look at the potential impact not collecting the federal tax will have on families. Also, the brown snow-free days continue, with the warmest December as records continue to drop across the prairies.
And now Schuss scores!
Plus, Team Canada is out. How the Czech Republic sent the team home early from the World Junior Hockey Championship.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Tuesday, January 2nd, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening, Happy New Year, and thanks for watching. The Saskatchewan government has officially stopped collecting the federal carbon tax. That means your Sask Energy and Sask power bills will look different going forward. The province says it will save Saskatchewan families hundreds of dollars this year. But as Pratush Dayal reports, lower-income families are nervous about losing out on rebates.
Very anxious because it's a big part of my economy.
Jermaine Romberg worries carbon tax rebates could be lower now that the Saskatchewan government isn't collecting the tax on heating bills. She counts on those rebates to get by. The mom of two lives on disability benefits and only has about $200 left over each month. So getting a $300 rebate every few months keeps her afloat.
Those big lumps, whatever, 4 times a year, make a big difference. And my kids' birthdays kind of depend on them because my one birthday's in October, the other's in January.
It's going to save significant dollars for people on their Sask energy bill and Sask power bills for those people that use electricity to heat their homes this winter.
The government has maintained cutting the federal carbon tax will save the average Saskatchewan family about $400 this year. But the impact on rebates is not yet clear. Experts say they could be lower.
In my research, I've found that most households, as a result of that process, would get more money back than they pay in carbon pricing. And that's especially true of low-income households. They don't pollute as much as high-income households, but everybody gets the same per capita, per person rebate. So they end up, most of them are actually ahead of the game.
Bob Halliday is the vice president of Saskatchewan Environmental Society. He worries cutting the carbon tax will make people less likely to take energy-saving measures.
Where people lose the incentive to try to reduce their personal carbon footprint. And so there's a challenge to the environment by playing games with the carbon tax.
Romberg says she already limits her carbon footprint. She says she will save $400 by not paying the carbon tax on her Sask energy bill. But she used to collect much more in rebates.
I'm sure for the premier of our province, $300 loss 4 times a year is not a big deal, but it is a significant portion of my economy. That would be about $1,200 for the whole year. Any poor person will tell you there's a hustle, and I'll go to the food bank and hustle and get food there. I've dumpster dove to get stuff.
Saskatchewan's minister responsible for Crown Corporation says cutting the federal carbon tax is more about the principle than affordability. Dustin Duncan also says he's prepared to face any punishment from Ottawa. Pratish Dayal, CBC News, Saskatoon.
A new year brings a new way of charging for waste collection in Regina. The city's now running a user pay model. It's based on the size of your garbage bin. The bigger 360-liter cart you might be used to has a fee of roughly $285 a year, while the new, smaller 240-liter cart will save you about $90. You just have to ask the city to swap the bins if you want. For low-income households, seniors, and people with disabilities, there are rebates available. Well, we find ourselves in January already and are leaving behind a very warm December. Our weather specialist, Ethan Williams, joins me now. Ethan, just how warm was last month?
Well, it was the warmest or second warmest December on record for all stations across the province. A remarkable 7 to about 9.5 degrees above the average. And keep in mind, for a lot of these places, including Regina, Saskatoon, records go back over 120 years. These are some of the highest departures from normal in the month of December in 2023 across the entire country. And we broke 96 high temperature records in the province during the month. A leader breaking an all-time record. It used to be 13.5 degrees. You smashed that on December 5th getting close to 15, and then you did it again December 22nd, getting close to 14 degrees. And of course, it's been dry as well. All of the province through the month reporting well below average moisture, especially dry in places like Key Lake, La Ronge, and Meadow Lake, seeing the driest December that you've had in many years on record. But there is a change coming, Sam. Maybe some snow in the future. I'll tell you how much coming up.
All right, thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
After 4 days of black smoke, a fire at a Regina scrapyard is finally out. The fire at Wheat City Metals produced a large plume of black smoke on Thursday. The fire department says no one was hurt. Crews did leave the scene around 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon after determining the fire was completely out. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, and the city says that will be handled by the RM of Sherwood. The job of a firefighter is changing. It still includes fighting fires, but now it also includes helping transport unhoused people to shelter, providing emergency medical care, or cleaning up needles left on the street. Jason Warwick has more.
This is still one job of a firefighter, speeding off to fight fires of all sizes, from small sheds to huge apartment buildings.
Fire department!
But they're also dispatched to inspect homeless encampments. They help people find food and shelter and provide emergency medical care across the city. Today, 3 out of every 4 calls to Saskatoon's fire department have nothing to do with fires. It's a similar story across the country. That's because cities are grappling with surging homelessness, an addictions epidemic, and an overburdened healthcare system.
We're only, 5% of the population?
Right.
Firefighters are being asked to do much more.
I think we all came to this realization that we all needed to approach things in a different way. We have mobile CADs in all the vehicles now. This aids the crews.
Saskatoon Fire Chief Morgan Hackle is retiring soon after a 36-year career. Hackle was just named Saskatoon's Fire Chief of the Year for embracing these changes.
We're embedded in this community. We're looked to people to support them, to protect them, to help them in times of need. We are partnering across this community in so many ways.
Their new plan emphasizes firefighting innovations, but also mental health, housing supports, and reconciliation. One shelter manager says the rest of the country could learn a lot from Saskatoon's example.
They're part of the community rather than just focused on their narrow job description, which if everyone could do that, it'd be a great place to live, even better than it is.
Hackle says the job of a firefighter is far more complicated than when he started in the 1980s. But he says that's okay. He says it's about doing whatever it takes to keep residents safe. Jason Warwick, CBC News, Saskatoon.
A stunning upset and a heartbreaking loss for Canada today at the World Junior Hockey Championship in Sweden. Canada fought back from an early deficit in their quarterfinal game against the Czech Republic, but in a tie game with just seconds left in the third period, here's what happened.
Fremont works in, drops it back to Beher. And now Stensel shot scored! Stensel with a shot that deflected by Rousseau. And with 11 seconds to go in the third, the Czechs have retaken the lead.
The Czech Republic did hang on for a 3-2 win. It is the first time they've ever beaten Canada in the medal round at the World Junior Tournament. Canada's eliminated and has no chance to win a medal. But meanwhile, some Saskatchewan women are making history this week as the Professional Women's Hockey League gets underway. 2 played in the season opener yesterday, and more will take the ice tonight and tomorrow. Bonnie Allen has more and what this means to them.
Such an unbelievable moment. I've got chills.
Among those making history in the first PWHL game were 2 women from Prince Albert. On Toronto's team, number 28 in blue, Caitlin Willoughby, and with New York, number 6, Brooke Hobson.
Hobson fires now from the point.
As they battled it out in front of a sold-out crowd and to people tuning in across North America to watch it live, Hobson was hoping girls from Saskatchewan would feel inspired.
Coming from a smaller province or smaller cities, it's exciting, I think, to show them that it is a reality. Like this can be your job now. So I just hope that they really think that they believe that they can do this too.
And those who packed the arena got the message.
We definitely want to make sure that our girls understand and our boy understands that girls can play too.
You know, the talent is there, the passion from the fans is there.
Saskatoon's Emily Clark suits up Tuesday night for her PWHL debut when her Ottawa team takes on Montreal. Clark won an Olympic gold medal with Team Canada last year, but has been waiting for the moment she could make hockey her job.
It's always a dream to play on the Canadian Olympic team and Team Canada. So that definitely fueled my dreams for as long as I can remember. And then I didn't even know different opportunities were out there until they kind of came up, like playing college hockey. And now being able to play professionally was obviously a dream I didn't get to have growing up, but it is a dream come true for sure.
Saskatoon's Sophie Shirley plays for Boston and takes the ice against Minnesota on Wednesday.
Being a younger athlete in this league, I think it's going to be huge for my development. And then obviously, yeah, just being able to take it all in and kind of mature and grow from that too is going to be great.
With her sickle, and she gets it!
And with corporate backing and season ticket holders, many hope this professional women's hockey league will have staying power. The Sask-born players we spoke to say it feels like a new era of hockey. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Swift Current.
Well, there might not be a lot of snow on the ground, but there sure are a lot of white snowy owls out there. They've been spotted in areas south of Regina. The birds migrate south from the Arctic tundra during the winter. Wildlife photographer Kathy Wall says the owl's arrival is creating a stir of excitement for local birders, and that the lack of snow has actually made it easier for her to spot them. So will the lack of snow continue? Ethan will have your forecast after the break. Stay with us. You may have received some shiny new gifts this holiday season, but you wouldn't be alone if you were worried about how long they're going to last you. So many goods are built to last for just a short period of time and then end up in a landfill. But a growing movement in Canada is trying to make it easier for people to repair things on their own. Aaron Collins has more.
It's called a repair exchange. Busted stuff from snowblowers to baking gear.
I bought my KitchenAid mixer, stand mixer, to get fixed.
What was wrong with it?
It wouldn't turn on.
That's no good.
No, it would. I tried to fix it myself, and I didn't.
Paired with expert hands, fixing them up for free.
Too much goes into a landfill. I mean, the landfill over here is full, and it's filling up pretty fast. You know, the more we can keep out of there, the better, right? That's what I think.
More people are looking to repair instead of replace things these days, a trend that's been noticed in Ottawa, too. This bill passed in October allows people to skirt barriers to repairs put in place by manufacturers. The federal government has hinted that more help could be on the way for Canadians looking to fix things.
I think that the winds are blowing in the repair direction. If we look at Europe, if we look at the United States, clearly this is the way we are headed.
A push for people's right to repair their stuff.
Is a public interest movement that's calling for greater access to parts, tools, information, and software that's necessary to fix all the things that surround us today.
Well, it's a movement being embraced at repair shops across Canada, too.
If you can fix it and it works and I'm saving the environment another phone, that makes me really happy.
The biggest barrier to making repairs more common, the price of parts.
What makes this problematic to fix?
Even though it's an incredibly easy repair done within 10 minutes, the raw cost of this screen simply makes it non-economical.
But some skepticism here that new laws will change things.
We've been burned in the past. The legislation ends up not having the teeth it requires in order to actually make a change.
Still, back at that repair exchange, a win.
Just hoping and praying that it would work out, and it did. I'm so happy.
Some hope, too, for a more sustainable future. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
This weather update is brought to you by Titan Automotive, proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
And our weather specialist, Ethan Williams, joins me now. I had to do the careful walk into work this morning because pavement frost. for the first time in forever.
Yeah, it's been a long time. We flipped the calendar into 2024, and yeah, our weather's kind of flipped a little bit as well. There are some colder days ahead of us too. In the meantime, we're looking at temperatures, these are daytime highs that we haven't seen in a while in south and central Saskatchewan, into the minus mid-single digits, getting into the minus double digits in the north. Most of us through south and central today did manage to get up to around kind of -2, -3 at the warmest in the southwest, but you can see just how far things have dropped even since that point. We have actually had a little bit of snow as well in portions of central Saskatchewan. Radar not really picking it up here, but you can see the cloud cover, the weather kind of having a post-holiday blahs as well, as we kind of feel like we're really into January, and the cloud cover likely going to continue to be a theme overnight tonight. That'll keep things fairly warm, -10 to -15 in south and central Saskatchewan. And getting into tomorrow, we are actually seeing, a couple of rounds of snow potentially. The first through the north of the province, particularly through the far north tomorrow afternoon, and then a second system coming in behind that from Alberta, which will spread snow through a good chunk of south and central Saskatchewan, beginning in west central areas where there's really been no snow on the ground all season long, and that'll move its way eastward as we head into Saturday. So kind of a late Thursday through Friday event is what we're looking at there. For the north, that could bring anywhere between 5 and 10 centimeters, probably the La Loche Buffalo Narrows area looking at the highest amounts, but really everyone's seeing a good shot of snow. For south and central Saskatchewan, model not fully kind of developed here. I think the snow going to still be falling a bit into Saturday, but there could be sections of the province that, you haven't seen this much snow since maybe even last winter in some places. And for those of us in southeastern Saskatchewan, could even be a few centimeters being picked up, especially into Friday. The good news is it looks like winds will actually stay on the fairly light side. So if we do get the snow, we're not at this point looking like any blizzard or blowing snow advisories or conditions when this system finally does roll through. But what we are seeing sort of in tandem with this is a drop of our jet stream. It's been further to the north because of El Nino this year. We've seen these kind of nice orange and greenish colors. And now those blues are starting to drop a little further south. And you can see this dip beginning to develop in the jet stream to our south. And so that is reflected in the 7-day forecast tomorrow. That could be the coldest daytime high in Regina of, basically since last year, since April or March, basically. We're looking at temperatures then dropping further. Yes, those are minus double digits on the board there as we head into the end of the weekend and beginning of next week. Even an overnight low near -20 there. For Saskatoon, looking for a chilly, comparatively, high of -9, even though that's pretty close to normal for this time of year. And then, yes, a drop into the minus double digits. So we go from nothing to everything all at once in January.
I didn't mean to laugh out loud when you said since last year, but it's January 2nd.
It is literally the case. I can't believe it.
But I guess I need to get out my plug-in to plug in my car.
You just might for the first time this year.
All right. Thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
Well, the end of the holidays mark an especially happy time for these alpacas on a Connecticut farm. They get to dine on something many households are throwing away this time of year. The farm owners say the needles are a healthy snack and beneficial for the animal's digestive system. It's proved so popular with the furry crowd and the public that it's become an annual tradition. We'll be back after the break. It has been a tragic start to the new year in Japan. On Monday, a powerful earthquake rocked northwestern regions of the main island. At least 55 people are dead and tens of thousands of homes have been destroyed. Then, an aircraft collision claimed the lives of 5 members of Japan's Coast Guard. Incredibly, though, 380 people survived the crash. Chris Gilbert reports.
A truly remarkable start to the year for Japan. 2 spectacular and tragic events, starting with that Japan Airlines plane carrying 379 passengers and crew bursting into flames not long after landing at Haneda Airport in Tokyo, and miraculously all 379 evacuating from the plane before it was engulfed in the fire. 17 injuries have been reported reported, 4 people taken to hospital, 2 of them for smoke inhalation. Unfortunately, there were casualties and fatalities on the Coast Guard plane that was reportedly entering the tarmac at the time the Japan Airlines flight was landing. That plane was headed to Niigata Prefecture to deliver vital aid to the area, including Ishikawa and the Noto Peninsulas, which have been affected by the deadly earthquake on Monday. These areas are still reeling. Power is still cut to tens of thousands of houses. Water is in inconsistent supply, including to 19 hospitals in the region. There are reports of people in the major city of Wajima 24 hours on or more on from the disaster, melting snow to make their own water for drinking. The Japanese government is prioritizing search and rescue, but with rain in the forecast, landslides blocking roads which are already damaged, it is becoming an increasingly difficult task to search for survivors, and the Prime Minister says they are now battling the clock. Chris Gilbert for CBC News in Tokyo.
And Ethan is back with one last look at your weather.
Yeah, we're looking at a little bit of cloud cover building in tonight into the Regina area. We'll be sitting around -15. Winds fairly light, but the cloud builds in overnight, and I think we'll still be mostly cloudy by about 8 o'clock tomorrow. That's a chilly start to the day compared to what we've seen lately, feeling closer to -23 with just a little bit of the wind. And then as we get into the afternoon, those clouds begin to break away a bit, but we're not warming up all that much, still probably feeling closer to around -20. And Saskatoon, similar thing here, starting around mostly clear skies. And then by tomorrow morning, I think you'll see a little more sunshine, wind chill around -22. And by the afternoon, around -14, some sun and cloud, and feeling closer to -20. So a few extra layers probably needed tomorrow, Sam.
The hoodies go away, the jackets come out.
I'm afraid so.
All right, thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
And before we leave you tonight, as we say hello to another year and welcome possibilities, many people consider adopting resolutions. Ashwarya Duda hit the streets to find out what people are aiming for.
I want to do yoga more.
All right.
I'm going to spend more time getting myself
That's a good one.
relaxed, fit, yeah.
My New Year's resolution? Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, to help as many people as possible in our city.
And how are you going to do that?
I'm an advocate for justice, so I spend a lot of time out here, boots on the ground, and today's no different.
For my New Year's resolution, I just want to be a better version of myself.
Damn right.
Yeah, pick up some healthy habits and take care of my body and not stress too much about anything. When I was little, I always wished for abs for my New Year's resolution. Never came across that.
To spend a lot less money, definitely.
That's a good one, yeah.
Get better on savings, all that kind of stuff.
My rent went up a lot more than it usually does, and they're not giving us anything. Like I said, now they took away even our caretakers, so.
So you'll be making different financial decisions this year?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to, I don't have much finances, but I mean, I'm going to have to try to be more careful as to what I buy.
And that is it for us tonight. For news anytime, you can head to cbc.ca/Sask, or you can subscribe to our CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel, or go download the CBC News app on your phone or tablet. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.